Hello, everyone. I'm here today to tell you about a man who took a job to erase people, but ended up erasing himself. Let's get into it. Our story starts with a guy named Leo who is desperately trying to make enough money to pay his rent. He is looking for work, but there doesn't seem to be any around. As he walks down the street, he sees a tall, sleek building with a sign out front reading job openings. Intrigued, he walks inside. A woman behind a desk tells him that the position requires a college degree, to which he says he does not have one. She presses a button on her desk, and he is suddenly standing in an office in front of a man in a suit. The man asks Leo if he wants a job, and he says yes. The man then tells him that reality has errors, or as they call them, glitches. People who are not supposed to exist and whose presence creates instability. It's up to continuity technicians like him to correct these errors. He offers Leo the job, paying him $10,000 a week. Intrigued and desperate for money, Leo accepts. He is then taken into another room where a man gives him a black briefcase and tells him to take it home and not open it until midnight. That night, unable to sleep, he opens the briefcase and finds a silver device inside, which the man from earlier explains is called the Harmonizer. He tells Leo that the device will guide him through the process, which he assures him is clean and painless. He calls it a correction, not murder. The next morning, he is given the location of his first target and told to report there at 8 p.m. All day he waits, wondering what he is supposed to do. At 8 p.m., a black car arrives and a man in a suit steps out. He hands Leo a card with a picture of a man on it and tells him that he's his target. Then he disappears. Leo arrives at his target's house and the Harmonizer tells him to enter. He knocks on the door and the man opens it. They stare at each other for a moment before the man invites him in. Leo tells him that he's there to fix his air conditioner, even though it's obvious that he isn't. The man agrees and tells him to go to the basement. As he descends the stairs, he hears a gunshot and the man's voice saying, "Don't move." He hides behind some boxes until the noise goes away. The Harmonizer tells him to come back upstairs. The man is sitting on the couch when Leo comes back up. He tells him that he's leaving now, but the Harmonizer tells him to wait. It tells him to turn on the TV and tune it to Channel 5. On the screen is a news report about a technician who came to fix the man A's air conditioning, but accidentally shot him when he tried to attack him. The Harmonizer tells Leo to arrest the man, but Leo refuses, saying that he can't do that. The Harmonizer then tells him to shoot the man, and as Leo hesitates, it warns him that if he doesn't comply, the target will become violent and could hurt himself or others. Leo shoots the man, who falls onto the floor, turning into dust. The last thing he sees before he leaves is a photo of the man on the card the man had given him. On the back was written the name John. The next day, he is given a new target, an old woman who lives alone. He goes to her house, and she lets him in. She seems kind and offers him tea and cookies. For a moment, Leo feels a connection with her, something he hasn't felt since before he started working for this company. When the Harmonizer tells him to erase her, he finds himself refusing. The old woman asks him why he really came to her house, and he tells her that it's to see if her air conditioner is working properly. She laughs and tells him that he's very funny. As she goes to get him some more tea, he pulls out the Harmonizer and she asks him what it is. He tries to hide it, but she grabs his hand and looks at it. As she reaches out to touch it, the Harmonizer beeps loudly and flashes red. An error message appears on the screen reading, "Protocol breach. Target interacted with device." Then the harmonizer beeps again, and everything returns to normal. She tells him to go downstairs to check the thermostat, but as he goes past her, he sees a flower she had been holding turn to dust in his hand. In horror, he drops it and runs downstairs. The next day, he is given a new target, a mother and her young son. He goes to their house, but before he can knock on the door, the harmonizer tells him that there is a mutual existence conflict detected. This is a type of paradox the system cannot solve on its own. He needs to consult the final rule of the protocol, which he had never seen before. It was hidden behind a panel in the harmonizer. The rule is called number 4, the coin toss. It says that in the case of a conflict of this nature, the choice of who to erase is statistically irrelevant. He must flip a coin to decide heads. The mother tails the son. It says that he must make his choice quickly because a conflict of this magnitude will trigger a cascade if left unresolved. If he fails to choose, the entire neighborhood will be erased. Trapped between two terrible outcomes, Leo closes his eyes and flips the coin, and that's the end of the story. The audience hears the coin land and the sound of the harmonizer activating. The story ends before we know the outcome of the coin toss, leaving us to imagine the fate of the family and the terrible choice Leo had to make. If you liked this story, please leave a like and subscribe if you want to hear more. Also, you can find more stories like this on my podcast, which I'll link in the description. Thank you for listening.